today we're gonna draw 6 different fantasy hairstyles. Hello fellow unicorns, welcome to another video, and before we start with today's video, make sure to click the little bell button and subscribe. And of course, today's video has been brought to you by Manga Crash Course Fantasy, my latest book. We are going to use all of the knowledge and little tips and tricks that I have put in the lesson regarding hairstyles and show it right here on this video. So the first hairstyle of the day is a warrior type hairstyle with a center in the forehead, showing how it's being shaped and molded by this single dot. If you guys haven't seen my previous video on how to create manga hairstyles and what are the little secrets and tips for constructing a hairstyle, please click on the video right here and get the basics first, because we're doing this really fast and we're just demonstrating how these rules from this previous video are applied to fantasy hairstyles. And of course, we're gonna talk more about which kinds of characters you can create with these hairstyles. Of course, all of these hairstyles are completely free for you to use and get inspired by. Our second trick and tip is to use a really nicely shaped bow or a hanging ornament from your character's hair to make it look more exotic. This hairstyle was formed also from the center, as you can see, and it's really feminine. The way you can definitely set apart a feminine or a more manly hairstyle is by the bushiness of the top part. Usually girls have more smooth top part, and it's not really that used for a female character, the shape of like a firecracker or something like that. So you won't be seeing many female characters that have bushy hair or really outrageous hair like Naruto or similar characters. The third style features an intersecting pair of bangs. This is also shown that this is coming from the top of the head, that same shape, but it's combined with using two types of bangs intersecting each other. And of course, don't forget the female sideburns. These female sideburns can be used for male haircuts as well, so play around. Just try to use both sets of sideburns. You can definitely layer them. You can definitely layer sideburns as well as bangs and create different shapes. This entire process of creating a fantasy look is based on shapes and is based on this first video that we have mentioned. So if you haven't seen the first video, please click on the link and go and see the first video. It's very important, because otherwise this video will be too fast for you. Okay, so on to the male and more male oriented or more manly kind of haircuts. This is a short version of a male haircut, and you will see that its origin point is on the side of the forehead. Then we have a little bit of a firecracker look going on the left side, just to make sure that his bangs are on the side and doing something that is outrageous and just looking more like a male sort of a haircut. And of course, to make your character look more mysterious or more fantasy like, make sure to put a drape somewhere. Like, it can be a draped over hood or a hoodie or any form of a draped material that is going around the head or around the neck. So the second male hairstyle is more of a bushy one. It's still smooth on the top, and as you can see, it is starting its shape from the very top. This shape is then being turned into a lot of pointy shapes downwards, and we are going to use only one strand of hair and color it differently later, so that this color difference can show or symbolize something regarding our character that is mysterious. Maybe it's a whitened out strand. We'll talk more about that later. And the final character, I put some pointy ears on this guy to make him look more elvish and more fantasy-like. and this is going to be done with a reason. And of course, don't forget, this M-shaped bangs are the root of this entire hairstyle. It's just the shape of the hair that is like a huge letter M on the forehead, branching out to side burns and side bangs, and then ending up in a very loose ponytail. So these characters are going to be something even more special once they have a certain color. Colors are very important. You can see from a color of a character's hair if they have some maybe magical abilities regarding to that color. Maybe they have an explosive personality regarding to that color. This particular color reminded me of Erza Scarlet, although she does have more of a red color. I think this hot pink is also very good for female characters with some fiery type of character in them, and just maybe a battle priestess or just a regular battling princess or whatever you want to design with this particular haircut in mind. I wanted to play around with this and just to prove that one solid but vibrant hair color can put a lot of symbolism into your character. And this is a direct quote from my book. So it's always good not to do too much. Like, your character's hair doesn't have to be like floating in the air and containing living organisms or magic in it to make this character look interesting. So a little bit of a tiny fashion accessory, a little bit of shading, and you're done for this first look. And it's very good for somebody who is humble and yet who is fiery in the heart, I guess. The second look is more of a gentle color. As you can see, I chose something of a baby pink for this character, since her entire volume of hair is so gentle looking. Her bangs are just insinuating that she's a gentle personality. It doesn't have to be. You can even like do your characters to look innocent and gentle and then make them go completely nuts when they're in the heat of battle or something like that. It's all up to you how you decide to build your characters and to develop them, but this look in particular is something that should symbolize some character that is more of a gentle type. It could be a male character, it could be a female character, you decide. The main point about this character is that I have based their bandana on obi, which is a Japanese kimono belt for girls. And I just used some shapes from there to create her bandana, because bandanas can be a symbolic trait of your character's origins. It can show where they're from, it can show their status, if they are of royal descent or if they are just like traders or merchants. So it's very important to put these little details next to the hairstyle so that you can symbolize their origin story. And this is very important because sometimes we recognize the characters we love just based on these little details that accompany the hair. So it's not just about the hairstyle in the world of fantasy. Of course, you will notice that I keep leaving these white, or drawing these white little triangles at the edge of the hair. This is the most basic anime-like type of highlights you will find on the hairstyles, and this is something I like working with because it's so simple and yet it looks so finished, but yet so simple again. The anime world was built on simplicity and just cutting corners. This next trick for this character is done by using several shades of the same color. By using different shades of blue on each of her strands, I am giving her some sort of an effect of her being an ice wielding kind of a character. Maybe she has ice powers, maybe she's made out of ice, maybe she controls the weather or something like that. Maybe she's like Elsa, I don't know, but still, by using several shades of the same color, you will get a good impression that your character is some sort of an elementalist or a magic user that is specialized in only one element or area. And I really like how she turned out, because this Sideburn and crossed over bangs are just my favorite thing to do. I really love curvy sideburns on characters. And if you add some additional texture to hair, you can even make it look like it's made out of crystals or snow or ice. Sorry, I have been watching Hoseki no Kuni too much, and I really love the diamond texture in the characters' hairs. So if you haven't seen it, that's a warm recommendation. Anyways, if you guys are interested in the tools that I'm using, make sure to check out my description box, and you will find the links to all the tools that I'm using. You don't have to have fancy Copic markers like I do. You can color with anything you like, but for these white effects, I do recommend white paint, just regular white paint, or white jelly roll. So these are some tips and tricks that can be achieved with simple tools, but I'm also giving you exactly the tools that I'm using, so you don't have to like bother if you just want the tools that I use. Anyways, the green-haired character is getting a sort of a vibe of a pilgrim or a sage or somebody who is just used to traveling, and the green color of his hair can be associated with something natural, like a druid or like forest dweller, or maybe nature lover, somebody who has a touch with nature or is more of a calm person, because green color, I don't know about you guys, but green color makes me really calm, so I really prefer it among a lot of other colors. And the blue color of the sea or just deep water is also something that I wanted to put on this character to just symbolize his connection to nature and create something of a really profound and scholarly and kind of a character, just by using his hair and his accessory, which is this cloth that is going around this character. You can tell a lot of a character's story just by making his appearance tell it. You don't have to show it. The character should be able to tell you half of their story by just being there, by just looking a certain way, and by just having certain colors that you see them wear. This next character, I wanted to base his hair on something that's really simple, like everyday hair, brown hair, like a lot of people has brown or dark brown hair. So I wanted to put this as a base and then just have one little strand of hair on a prominent location, and use that strand of hair to be completely opposite, to be completely devoid of this color. So I used a light turquoise, just really light, actually light mint, to make him look like he has been like under the influence of certain spells, or maybe lost certain part of the pigment in his hair. Like when people are really scared, they tend to lose the pigment in their hair. Some people go completely white, some people have their strands white, and this is a similar story. When you see a character with only one strand of hair that is discolored or light, you instantly remember that character might be having a reason for that strand of hair being that way. So it could be a very important part of your character's story to show by just using it in their hairstyle. And the last but definitely not the least is the fire hair, which I was really trying to blend as much as I could. So the base of this hair is of course the color red, then it goes through 2 shades of orange and ending up in a yellow shade. And this is something that I wanted to combine with the elf ears, and to symbolize that this character is completely opposite to the character above him. So if she had some sort of ice powers, he would probably have some sort of fire powers, and you can easily transfer that to everybody without even telling anybody what they do or what their personality is by just showing it in their hair. And of course, you can use different gradients. You can switch from green to purple or something like that, and always play around with gradients in the hair so you can get a lot of different cool results and a lot of different cool designs for your characters. I really hope you guys show me what you created with these tips and tricks. If you like what I do, you can support me and download all of these files in full HD for only $5 a month every month on my Patreon page. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you would like to learn how to draw manga, please check out my book Manga Crash Course, available in 4 different languages, as well as my latest book Manga Crash Course Fantasy.